Alright, can we just start off by saying, can someone give my man Kawaki a goldfish? Because that is just one thing he wanted throughout this entire episode. Oh my goodness, Boruto episode 192. This was such a hard episode to watch, considering what Kawaki just went through, seeing his flashback, what he went through growing up with his biological father. It was very rough. He had a very rough childhood. So of course in this episode we find out just how Kawaki was living during his childhood. In the manga they don't really go into this, so I'm really glad that the anime is expanding this part of Kawaki's backstory very well. We find out just how broken of a childhood Kawaki went through. Also, we have a very good explanation on why Kawaki's dad acts the way he does, because in the Boruto manga we do know that he did abuse his son. However, we did not see it. We just know that he just abused it. It was said multiple times while he was talking to Jigen. But I really like how the anime really expanded this scene, really expanded Kawaki's backstory in this episode, ultimately fleshing out his character and his dad as well. So of course in this episode we find out that Kawaki is chopping wood. He chops wood so he can sell them off to gain money, and with this money he does buy alcohol for his father, and this is all he does every day basically. This is the only thing he can do because this is how he supports his dad. And we find out that Kawaki's dad, he used to be a shinobi. He was an ex-shinobi. However, he was traumatized from the 4th Great Ninja War. We'd never seen this guy of course back in Naruto Shippuden. We don't even know his name. We just know that he was considered an outstanding shinobi, and even Kawaki calls him a hero, which I find very ironic considering that Kawaki's dad abuses the shit out of him. He hits him, he beats him all the time. Even the villagers know that Kawaki's dad beats his own son, and that shows you just how bad of a father Kawaki's dad was. And the fact that drinking got to the best of him shows you that, yo, Kawaki's dad definitely went through a lot. Of course, with going through a war, you're gonna suffer from a lot of trauma, PTSD, depression, stuff like that. The one way Kawaki's dad escaped these side effects from going through the 4th Great Ninja War, of course, is by drinking. And of course, by drinking, it is going to ruin his livelihood of him and his son. Kawaki has went through so much by doing this for his dad, and his dad doesn't even work. He doesn't really do anything. Kawaki's dad doesn't really do anything. He just sits home and drinks all day, and Kawaki really does the hard work. He's the one who supports the family, chopping wood, buying alcohol so his dad can drink. His dad doesn't even work. Kawaki's the one working, which shows you just how a shitty father Kawaki's dad is. And it was really depressing to see, man. It really hurt me to watch this episode knowing what Kawaki went through. I remember reading this in the manga. I felt bad for Kawaki, but it didn't really hit home like it did in today's episode. It just hit way too hard in today's episode because we finally got to learn his perspective, and all I gotta say was this episode looked beautiful. I don't know what studio director animated this episode. All I know is that Studio Period, the main animators of the Boruto anime, they animated this episode, and all I gotta say is wow, this episode looked amazing. The emotions, the details, just everything, especially on Kawaki's face. They really put a lot of detail on Kawaki's face. From his parched lips to his dry eyes, you can tell that he's been crying from the abuse that he suffered from his dad, which shows you just how detailed this episode is. All I gotta say is wow, this episode was just amazing. And also I do want to talk about the goldfish. Like I said, I do want to talk about the symbolism of the goldfish, because throughout this entire episode we saw a lot of goldfish around Kawaki, and when we did see the goldfish around Kawaki, there was a lot of water. There was water around Kawaki. You can hear like the swishing of the water as if you were inside it swimming around. You hear like the water around your ears, and that definitely does symbolize what Kawaki is going to go through, because we do know that Kawaki, he was tested by the Kara organization. After Jigen paid, I think, millions of dollars to Kawaki's dad, Kawaki went under many experiments while being in these test tubes, and with the goldfish, it definitely does symbolize and foreshadow just how much pain Kawaki is going to go through while being in these test tubes, being tested for the Karma Seal. And if you don't know already, the gift that Jigen was supposed to give to Kawaki is the Karma Seal. And if you notice closely at the end of the episode, while Jigen was taking Kawaki to the testing area to meet Amato, Amato does say something very important, and Amato does say, is this the last child, Jigen? And of course, by saying that, that is implying that all of the kids that they have been trafficking, they have died while being given the Karma Seal. We did see Gato, if you remember Gato back in Boruto episode 188 and 189, he was also tested for the Karma Seal. And of course, when you're tested for the Karma Seal, you are most likely going to die. Not everyone becomes a perfect vessel for the Karma Seal. Obviously, we do not know the Otsutsuki that is giving the Karma Seal yet. For my anime onlys, my manga readers already know who. Of course, with Boruto, like the person that gave the Karma Seal to Boruto was of course Momoshiki. We don't know who the Otsutsuki that has given off the Karma Seal to Kawaki yet, so we're definitely gonna learn about that soon in the near future. But all I gotta say is wow, this episode without a doubt 100% blew blew me away. Like, I had kind of low expectations going into this episode, considering that we've already seen something like this in the Boruto manga. However, they went all out, especially showing just how much Kawaki suffered by him being the only one who can actually work, with his dad being a ex-shinobi who went through side effects, and by him battling off by drinking alcohol. It definitely shows you the realism of this world in the Boruto series. It definitely gives you a very realistic view of the real world. Of course, with people like Boruto and Sarada, they live a very peaceful life so far. They had basically everything in their life. Of course, they had run into some problems with Boruto and his dad, and of course with Sarada and Sasuke, they've had some problems, but it is nowhere near compared to what Kawaki went through. And I really like this contrast that we're gonna see. And at the end of the episode, Kawaki wakes up from this basically nightmare thinking about Jigen, and this is where we get to see Kawaki in the hospital with Naruto, Shikamaru, and Konohamaru. And this is where the episode ends off at. And all I gotta say is, wow, like like this episode, like I'm gonna say it again, this episode blew me away. Like, this episode had no right to be this damn good. Like, but let me know what you think about this episode in the comment section below, because the Boruto anime has definitely been turning the fuck up. And all I gotta say is that the Kawaki arc, I'm going to be talking about that in my next video that I'm going to upload about the upcoming arc for the Boruto anime. All I gotta say is that that arc is absolutely flames. I cannot wait to get into that. So let me know what you think about this episode in the comment section below. How do you feel about Kawaki's backstory? How sad did you feel while watching it? Do you hate Kawaki's dad? Because I'm pretty sure everyone does. And tell me, how would you compare Kawaki's backstory to the other backstories of other main characters back in Naruto, like Naruto, Sasuke, Gaara, Kakashi? Let me know what you think about that in the comment section below. So if you like this video, hit that like button, subscribe, hit the bell as well, and have a good day. Peace.